The 2021 real estate market is doing crazy things. I want to share some things to not do when you're buying a home in 2021. My name is Nicole. I'm an Arkansas real estate broker, and welcome back to my channel with videos to help you find your way home. What is making the 2021 real estate market be so crazy and any different than any prior year before? Interest rates are so low. That is why a lot of buyers are getting into the market and wanting to buy, especially their first home. Now, that's great, but the problem is there's not a lot of houses available. There is an increase in competition, and I don't think that that's going to be going away anytime soon. So the first thing that you do not want to do is you don't want to start looking at homes before you get pre-approved for your loan. A pre-approval is so important. This is when you actually speak with a lender about buying a home. The lender will have you fill out a loan application and they will pre-approve you up to a certain amount for your purchase. Now, this is important because of several different reasons. First, it allows you to know how much you can afford. Second, it lets you know that you're pretty good to go and that you can actually afford to buy a house right now. And third, this comes into play when we actually make offers. If you're submitting offers, you need to have a pre-approval to go along with that offer to show the seller that you are a serious buyer and that you take your financing serious as well. That will make your offer that much stronger against any other potential offers that the seller has that did not come with pre-approval letters. The second thing that you do not want to do this year is you do not want to look at houses above your price point. So let's say that you went to a lender and they have pre-approved you for up to $200,000. Typically, in a normal, balanced real estate market, you might be able to negotiate the price of a home down a little bit from what is advertised as the list price of the home. However, like I mentioned, nationally, across the board, pretty much every market in the country right now has very strong competition. So this is really not the time to be looking at houses that are listed for $210,000, $215,000. If your max price is $200,000, thinking that you can negotiate them down. The third thing that you are not going to want to do if buying a house in 2021 is work with the listing agent of a property. In any real estate transaction, there are two different agents in that transaction. There's the agent that represents the buyer, called the buyer's agent, and there's the agent that represents the seller, who is called, most cases, the listing agent. Now, the listing agent represents the seller and the seller's best interests. You want to avoid contacting the listing agent because you could easily disclose too much about your personal situation to that agent. For example, if you are pre-approved for up to $200,000, but the home is listed for only $180,000. If I'm the listing agent and I represent the seller, and you tell me that you can afford up to $200,000, well, you have just given up all your negotiation room. If I hear that you love the house and you can afford more than my seller is asking, well, I'm going to sit back and help them rake in the money because you've just told me everything about you and your finances. And that is what we want to avoid. Do not work with the listing agent if you are trying to buy a house. And the fourth thing to avoid and not do if you're trying to buy a house in 2021 is negotiate closing costs or special terms. If you find yourself in a multiple offer situation, you have to picture that I'm the seller and I have, let's say, 5 different offers sitting out in front of me. I am going to look at which one best suits me as a seller. And if I'm a seller, all I want is the most money in my pocket when I sell my house. So I'm going to be comparing all of the terms in these offers. And if I get 2 offers for, let's say, $180,000, One of them asks me for no money towards the buyer's closing costs. And the other offer is also for $180,000, but the buyer is asking for help with their closing costs. This offer would not be as strong as the one without closing costs. So if you as a buyer have the ability to pay for your own closing costs, I definitely would recommend you do not ask for any type of credit towards those closing costs in your offer, because that will make your offer less desirable to sellers if you happen to find yourself in a multiple offer situation. So let's recap the 4 things to avoid if you are planning on buying a house in 2021. Don't look at homes before you get approved. Try to avoid looking at homes that are above your price point because it may be hard to negotiate them down. Don't work with the listing agent. Make sure you actually hire yourself a buyer's agent to represent your needs. And number 4, try to avoid adding any closing costs or extra special terms to your offer. Now that we talked about the things that you should not do, if you still have some questions on the best process to buying a house from start to finish, check out this video I made where I outline the 12 in detail steps that you need to follow, from hiring yourself a realtor all the way to taking those fun pictures in front of your home and getting the keys. I'll see you in the next video.